I think about SAMs and samples, or being or in the computer world. We talk about being a beta tester. We are beta testers in this thing we call life, right? We get to experience these things that God created, and God is constantly tweaking. And if you don't believe me, think about the things that are happening in the world today. If you don't think that's God beta testing, that's God making changes, rolling back changes, you don't think that's him adding things to the code, right? So that way he can make a better place in the long run, the everlasting life, And I also believe that heaven also is still being created. It's being tweaked. It's being fine-tuned, because this right here is this testing ground. This is the playpen. This is staging, right? I'm really talking about work today. This is the staging environment where God put us out here to interact with all these things that he's created, good, bad, and ugly. And he's trying to see and give feedback on how is this working. If I put these people with this people, will they fight? Will they get together? Will they procreate? If I put people living here on this mountain, will it be different from people that are living here on this land? If I put people in the ocean or fish in the ocean, how would they react if I take them off this ocean and put them in dry land? If you notice things like that, even throughout evolution, well, I guess we could just talk about evolution in general. It's like all these things were just opportunities to where, if I put A here, what will happen? Will A survive? Will A thrive? Will A continue to evolve, right? And if this works, we keep this. If not, we scratch this out. Or you know what? This can be an alternative to where this can be a place where you go if things aren't, going well. This is a place where you'll be put if things aren't going accordingly. So you think about this when we're living in life. We can't take it too seriously. The only thing that we should take seriously is appreciating God, appreciating those things that he put out there for us and just giving thanks, because that's what he wants. I know the word says fear, the word says all those things, but it's really about acknowledging, a good acknowledgement is just as good as fear, because, we try not to think about those things as one or the same, but what's closer to respect than fear? I know one has a negative connotation, but unless you grasp the concept of what respect is, then the only way to get you down that road is to have a little bit of fear, right? I have to trigger that animal inside of you. I have to trigger that primitive instinct in you, so that way you can understand now, okay, there's a way for me to show reverence. There's a way for me to show appreciation without fearing for my life. And that's through praise. And that's through prayer, and that's through all these things where it's like, okay, God, I think I have a mutual relationship with you. I think I understand how you want me to give acknowledgement. And I think it's, falling on my knees, but falling on my knees in prayer, not falling on my knees in fear, because I think now at this point in life, at this point in the world, I know the Old Testament was one way where it's that, God's wanted to be feared. God's needed to be feared. But I think our God, the one true God, that God really wants praise, and thanks, I think if he wanted fear, he can get fear out of us, right? If he's the creator of all things, I think he can garner fear, right? There can be a disaster that's going to garner fear. And that's what we talked about, this environment that was created. This environment was created for God to test out, one, his creations, and also his environments, to see how they mesh together. And hopefully all those things, all the notes are being taken, and all the feedback is being given by us indirectly, that he's creating the greatest place of them all whenever we all done. He's creating this heaven, this utopia for us whenever it's all done. So if you don't believe that there's a heaven and an afterlife, think about where we're living right now. Can it be better? Can it be worse? It all depends on how you live in your life and where do you think you're going after it's all said and done. Now, if you think it's all going to fade to black, be my guest. But I want to assume that there's something greater. And in order for me to get to that somewhere greater, it's not to say there's a transactional relationship and I do good therefore to get into heaven. I think you do good because it's inside of you. It's a reflection of what's inside of you. And in turn, that gift actually was a promise. So, I don't think it's a gift that's God given it. That's a promise being fulfilled. And I think all I have to do is just do what I was intended to do and what I was created to do. And that is to be the human being, or the reflection of God that he created, the image that he created in himself. So if I'm more godlike, then why wouldn't I return to the source once I'm done? right? I think a lot of times we get so scared about the what ifs that we just want to black it out and just say to ourselves that, you know what, nothing happens when this is all over. It's okay to be in denial. You just don't need to be in denial forever. That's the biggest thing in life. Don't be in denial forever because you've got time. You have time to explore yourself. You got time to explore life. You got time to explore others.